That's looking a little bit rough right now, isn't it? Let's see what we can do about that. Now the reason for doing so many different pieces is that as the light hits each different one, it reacts differently and it makes the whole inlay seem alive, which I'm really happy with. There we go. I can leave it just a little while for the fumes to clear and we'll be back. So here we go. It now really does look like a total mess. But I'm going to get the excess off, just because I want it to look as nice as possible during the rest of the process, really. And then I'm going to cut away the outline. This is going to be so cool. This is still a delicate process. Yes, only once this is all in the guitar will it become strong enough. Same process, just on a slightly larger scale. His head's falling off a little bit. At this stage I'm thinking it might have been wise to put a slightly thicker substrate on the back. So there we go. Saw goes away, and it's a case of filing and cleaning. Oh, come on then. Okay, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to glue that back and find a stronger substrate. Here we go, some super thin veneer, and what I'm going to do is glue the inlay onto the veneer with the grain going one way, and then I'm going to make a ply with the grain going the other way behind it, and essentially I'm going to strengthen this whole beastie up rather well. I use an insane amount of super glue. Yeah, the whole thing is much more solid now. So I need to go around again with a saw, chop her out. Okay, now we have something a little bit more functional, easy to work with. There we go. A little bit. I'm just going to go crazy with the witching super glue. Fail. Don't do that at home. Seriously, don't do that at home. It's can't be good for you. Actually, the guitar that this is going on is one of the burnt guitars. So I suppose it's got to be done. Okay, we're roughly cleaned up. Let's get the outline sorted then. And there we go. So we have a little polar bear. Rawr. Little three-legged polar bear. There's nothing too recessed or too high. Because the next thing is to put it into a cavity. Okay, so the most important rule right now is to double check where this is supposed to be. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is correct. That's the 12th fret. That's where it needs to sit. So, well, I don't know. I'm going to have to stop and think for a minute. Okay, so this is the plan. We are going to move ahead, and the inlay is going to be there, and we will just see what happens with the feet and the muzzle. If necessary, I'll go in afterwards and inlay a little bit of white dust or something. The first task, new blade. I am happy with the positioning. I've eyeballed it really. Yeah, there we go. And this is where the fun truly begins. And is also where a lot of people get worried. And it's not actually that difficult. I'm slowly sculpting along the outside edge of my polar bear, and as long as I don't do something silly, can you hear the concentration in my voice? Yeah. As long as I don't do something silly, the cavity will be slightly smaller than the actual inlay. There we go. Now, of course, I do have all of this. I go back and with a little bit more strengthened vim and vigor, I follow along the line just to emphasize it. And this is the scary bit. If you slip and create a cut that you don't want, that's problematic. There's a trick when you're following along a line. If your blade is pointing up like this, only the tip of the blade is following the line. If your blade is at a low angle, a larger length of the blade is going to follow the line that's already there and make it easier. And there we have it. So that is our outline. Slightly smaller than the bear, just by dint of the scalpel blade being so sharp and being so close to the edge. Let me just show you very quickly. To do it by hand is actually pretty straightforward, especially with such a large cavity to evacuate, and it's called cut to cut. You have your outline, you have that cut going down at 90 degrees to the top, and then depending on which way the grain is going, you cut in. Oh, I sliced myself open. That's what happens when you've got really sharp chisels, you don't actually notice it. And you go in and cut at an angle into your outline cut, and it's just a case of really evacuating the material. And as you go down, you deepen your outline, and it's cut to cut. And it gives you a clean cavity into which you can insert your inlay. As you go, you clean this up and then go back in with your chisel and cut away and clear. And it's a slow way of doing it. A faster way is to get a Dremel or a Proxon type tool. In this case, we don't need the fence. Now I'm loading a little, I'm going to go with a 3mm router cutter. This is a little spiral, I think it's a down cut. Now, trick number one, and this is something that everybody who ever does this should know. Was that horrendously out of focus? There we go. Grab yourself some masking tape and tie it around your cutter. It becomes invisible as you go. It becomes a propeller as well and blows all of the dust away from your inlay. And that is incredibly important. Now, this is straightforward. Just route away. Very, very carefully. That looks too deep to me. I don't feel comfortable with that. If I have to go back a little bit later and make it deeper, so be it. In all seriousness, don't sneeze while you're doing this. Now, I have gone as close to the line as I possibly can, and it's just a case of just feathering out last little bits. So brand new scalpel blade, I'm just going in and clearing the excess away. Yes. I am going to have to make this deeper. Quite significantly deeper. Let me get the outline right first, and that will give you another line to follow just outside of the last one that you can then, or that will then be closer to what you require. I could have obviously made this 1/2 mil bigger, slipped it in there and then just filled it with black glue, but where's the fun in that, eh? Depth. Ah, I see what happened. So yeah, the jaws, basically, as I got to this edge, the base of the proxon was resting on the jaws of the fantastic Taranti carbon spice. Don't forget your goggles. Okay, nothing's going to move. There's nothing more scary than setting up to do this and then the neck moving in the vise. Well, there we go. A little bit more finessing, and we are away. This is a black tinted super glue that we've had manufactured and will be selling soon. I also have goggles. You do not want to spurt glue into your eyeballs. Now remember, we are inlaying this into a radius, and then the black super glue around the edge to fill any gaps. So you put the glue on, and then get a little bag of ebony dust, because you know what's life without baggies full of ebony dust. Basically spread the dust onto the glue and tap it down. This has two effects. It fills the gap and it also makes the super glue go off really fast. Now, one thing you want to worry about is as super glue dries, it has an exothermic reaction. So it dries with heat. And if you get a globule of super glue and dust stuck to your finger, you can burn. Now, if you wanted to be really careful, you could get some wicking glue and just go over the edge. Now this I'm not worried about hitting with accelerator. And there's my inlay. Pretty, no?